What's going on, my hamsters? How you guys doing? I'm your man HamstaGanza. First of all, thank you so much for all the support. We're really getting close to 100 subscribers. It is amazing to see how much support I'm getting from every single one of you guys. It really means a lot to me. You guys motivate me. You guys are awesome. Simply the best.
You're simply the best.
You guys already know what my channel's all about. For those of you guys that don't know, well, I review films and I make sure to give you a good laugh. So I thought, hey, you know what? Let's do something different today. I'm gonna do a discussion video because you know what? Why not? There are many topics to talk about, but I thought, let's do something particular. Since Logan came out in theaters last week, I thought, hey, why not talk about Hugh Jackman and that Oscar nomination that he totally deserves? Oh, yes, he does. Yes, he does. You know he does. Oh, and by the way, you don't have to worry. I am here. I am talking to you right now. You just don't see my face. Now you see it. Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
How you doing?
Now, rather than showing you my beautiful face, which you can't resist,
Because you kiss, I can't resist.
but instead I want to show you everything that I've looked up in order to really give you the grasp on why I truly believe Logan can actually get nominated for an Oscar. Now, before you jump to saying, no, HamstaGanza, you're crazy. How could you possibly think that Logan's gonna get nominated? It's a superhero movie, right? And superhero movies don't get nominated. Well, then you're wrong. They actually do. And I've dug up so many statistics on this. But I thought, hey, let's make this interesting so you guys really see my point. So the goal of this video will be to look at the history of many well-known superhero movies and dissect the trend and overall what makes a superhero movie stand out to be nominated for an Oscar after all. Of course, let's be realistic. People can be divisive about the Oscars as they are always giving recognition to those that deserve it or give recognition to those that don't deserve it. I do believe the Oscars are great, while at the same time they tend to be tying in with a lot of today's agendas. Whatever the case may be, it's important to recognize art in film, and the Oscars are known to be the highest honor that anyone could receive. So first of all, I will be mainly focusing on superhero movies from both Marvel and DC, respectively. Of course, I love both of these universes and their work, despite the criticism or the fanboying that has been going on for a long time between the two universes. So let's jump to the Marvel side. As some of you may or may not know, there are different ownership rights to different characters. So of course, Fox Studios owns the rights to Deadpool and all the X-Men, while of course Marvel Studios owns the rights to the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy. But either way, it's quite interesting seeing what happened on the Marvel side. Let's jump into some really interesting facts. First off, as some of you remember, Deadpool became a huge blockbuster hit due to a certain few things. First off, yes, it was rated R, and it was a beautiful thing they made that happen, because otherwise, can you imagine a PG-13 rated Deadpool?
No! God, please, no! No!
The thing about Deadpool that really also worked, well, of course, Ryan Reynolds gave it another shot. He truly wanted this film to become something. He wanted it to be so good and so that the fans would love it. And guess what? We love it. It's amazing. But this is the shocker. No Oscar nomination. Not for his performance as Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool. No Best Screenplay, which was quite interesting because the screenplay was hilarious. And yeah, of course, no nomination for Best Picture. Let's jump into now the X-Men films. Guess what? That one X-Men film was Days of Future Past, which was nominated for Best Visual Effects. That's it. Out of all those X-Men films, that was the only film that got nominated. Surprising, right? Now let's jump over to the Marvel Studios. They have already made 14 superhero movies in their whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. For those 14 films, in total, there have been 9 Oscar nominations. 7 of those 9 Oscar nominations were for visual effects. This universe has so many films and has been nominated so many times, but not a single win. Now let's jump back in time to when we had the classic Spider-Man trilogy starring Tobey Maguire. In the first Spider-Man film, there were 2 Oscar nominations for Best Sound, Best Visual Effects. And a few years later, we got Spider-Man 2, which is arguably the best Spider-Man movie up to date. And that film got nominated for 3 Oscars: visual effects, sound editing, and sound mixing. Out of those 3, it won 1, and yep, it was for visual effects. Now let's jump over to the DC side. So let's go really back in time to 1978, where it all started. Superman, the original movie, has been nominated for 3 Oscars: Best Sound, Best Film Editing, and Best Original Score. It actually ended up winning a Special Achievement Award for visual effects. Moving on to 1989, we got Tim Burton's Batman, starring Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne and of course Jack Nicholson as the Joker. That film actually was nominated and won the Oscar for Best Art Direction, which today is known as Production Design. Moving on a few years later, we got 2 nominations for Batman Returns, which were Best Visual Effects and Best Makeup. Now let's jump over 3 years later, Batman Forever. That's a good laugh. Whew. So this film actually got nominated for 3 Oscars. I'm just surprised that a film like this got nominated for any Oscar at all. Now keep in mind, yeah, this was the 90s, and yeah, at that time as a kid, I actually enjoyed this film. Either way, it got nominated for Best Cinematography, Best Sound, and Best Sound Edit. Now let's jump over to one of the best trilogies ever made, and it's only truly thanks to Christopher Nolan's extraordinary vision and his remarkable utilization of camera work that has simply left us wowed. It has taken our breaths away because this is without a doubt one of the best trilogies ever made in cinema. So starting off the trilogy, we have Batman Begins that got nominated for 1 Oscar, which was for Best Cinematography. Now let's jump over to the sequel, The Dark Knight. This film got nominated for 8 Oscars. 8 Oscars! Holy crap, that's so many! That is the most Oscars that any superhero movie out there has been nominated for. And they are the following: Best Actor in Supporting Role, Heath Ledger, of course; Sound Editing, Cinematography, Film Editing, Art Direction, Makeup, Sound Mixing, and Visual Effects. Out of those 8, it took home 2 wins, and that was for Best Sound Editing and of course for the iconic portrayal of the Joker by none other than the remarkable Heath Ledger. Moving over to the DC Extended Universe, which was started off with Man of Steel, and then we had Batman v Superman. Now we had Suicide Squad recently. Since we're on the topic of Suicide Squad, it actually got nominated and won its only Oscar nomination, which was for Best Makeup and Hair Styling. Now as I look through all these Oscar nominated superhero movies, I've came to ask myself the really big question: why don't superhero movies get Oscar nominated for all the big categories, like specifically Best Picture, Best Director, and for leading and supporting roles in acting? Of course, we're going to keep the exception for Heath Ledger, who won actually the Oscar for The Dark Knight playing the Joker. Well, the answer is quite simple. The Dark Knight didn't get nominated for Best Director or for Best Picture. Yeah, it did get the nomination and the win for Best Supporting Actor, which of course is Heath Ledger, but nothing for Christopher Nolan getting that Best Director nomination. And I believe that actually has given enough reasoning for why that's the case with any future superhero movie. If today a superhero movie was to be nominated for Best Picture or even Best Director, there would be an outrage. Holy crap, there would be a catastrophe, and everyone would of course bring up the question, well, why is this nominated but The Dark Knight wasn't? See, The Dark Knight is arguably considered by many the best superhero movie ever made. And the beauty about this film is that it doesn't feel like a superhero movie, yet it actually really feels like a crime drama. Now, looking at Logan, it definitely follows the similar formula, and it has the potential to be strongly considered for an Oscar nomination, specifically for Hugh Jackman landing that nomination for Best Actor in a leading role. It would be his second Oscar nomination, and it would definitely show recognition for his outstanding farewell performance in Logan. So after looking through all this, I came to the verdict that the majority of superhero films will get Oscar nominated for technical categories, with visual effects of course being the common one. Advancements in technology and the utilization of CGI have taken films so far, but the line is drawn when these superhero films become repetitively recognized for their excellence in only this category and nothing more. If Dark Knight has taught us anything, is that practicality in effects stands out more than your typical CGI. Of course, CGI is essential in certain circumstances, but practical effects have proven to stand the test of time. As far as acting goes, it is all about wowing your audience by literally becoming the character to the point where no one can recognize you as the actor but as the character. So there you guys have it. Those are my thoughts on Logan and why I believe Hugh Jackman should get nominated for an Oscar playing this iconic, beloved superhero character that we all love so much. He has said that this is in fact his last performance playing as the Wolverine, but we are still crossing our fingers, and you never know, he might always change his mind. Vote in the poll and let me know what you guys think. Should Hugh Jackman get nominated for an Oscar for his performance in the film Logan? So let me know what you guys thought about the discussion video. Do you like videos like this? Do you want me to do more of them? Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and your family. It helps my channel reach more awareness, and it really helps me reach closer to my goal. Guys, make sure to be happy, be optimistic, be silly, and as always, don't forget, stay sexy.